Case 2, Joel Brady. So basically the ranks are composed of a hierarchy, and it's composed of 4 different ranks. Sapphire, the entry tier for government employees. Herein count common jobs such as bus and taxi drivers, governmental receptionists, and cleaners. While it may be the lowest of the tiers, it's still a symbol of respect among the citizens of Inouye Island. It is more highly regarded to work for the island's government than to work for a privately owned company. Some never make it past Sapphire, if not due to performance, then due to their limiting profession. So before we go any further... it's just the lorem ipsum. I was curious if there was actually anything there. Like, you can see the lorem ipsum there, lorem ipsum, and then just other Latin crap. Oh well. Emerald. The second tier, which mostly consists of mid-tier education, teachers, nurses, social workers, and the like. This is the most common tier and consists of the majority of the middle class. Ruby. Upper tier for those truly devoted to their profession. University teachers, doctors, chief of logistics of all sorts, politicians. Most people in this tier have gone through at least 5 years or more of higher education. Some are also promoted from the Emerald rank for being outstanding at their profession. Diamond, the elite of working society. CEOs, exalted administration positions, exalted politicians, positions of power and influence. More responsibility, more work, and as a result of stress, higher pay, finer rewards, and benefits. The idea behind the system is to motivate and reward those with higher ambitions. Not only that, any nurse has the option to continue educating themselves should they at some point want to become a doctor, for example. And any kindergarten teacher can build upon their degree and become a university teacher. All free of charge. It's encouraged. Many settle for their original position, but the option is always there. It never changes. This helps maintain a fair society. A land of true freedom, of opportunities. That's what Inouye is supposed to be. In a seedy neighborhood in front of the seediest house of them all, on a porch full of half-chewed sunflower seeds scattered around it, we find our next client throwing a tantrum, loudly, about seeds no less. These fucking seeds are so fucking salty. It reminds me of myself, really, which makes it all the worse. And do you know what else is salty? Fucking catfish, that's what. Cerulean just stares on with disgust. The real deal. Huh? I don't have it all that bad after all, do I? You done? You sound like a lunatic. The fuck you mean? And no, I'm far from done. So, about catfish, you know what they are? Ugly fish, not the ones we have around here. Well, yeah, and they're salty too, but I don't mean that kind. The modern kind, the internet kind, the pose is female to fuck me kind, not in the literal sense, sadly. Wait, so you're saying you want someone who isn't female to pose as one and then suggest sex? The man ponders for a second. Fuck you! Cerulean looks over at me with raised eyebrows and a small smirk as if saying, get a load of this guy. Well, that's my story. I was catfished, okay? I was lied to, used, and discarded like a post-coitus condom. Get them to meet me just once, then I'll do whatever you want. You have that much power, don't you? I know why you're here. The 10 fucking letters you sent me was enough to get the message across, okay? So yeah, I get it. You want to add another checkmark in your system. So, if you can do that for me, this one single thing, then I'll listen. But for now, fuck off, and stay fucked off until you're back with my goddamn catfish, got it? The man gets up, walks inside, then the door slams shut, and so a 2-inch slab of wood separates us from the crude man. Why couldn't we have gotten someone like Rose again? God, that spoiled us so bad. I wish. Feeling increasingly attracted to the idea of giving up and going to that one burger joint again. Oh, fantastic idea, let's go. Nah, we're not. I said it was getting more attractive, not that we'd actually do it. But now you've planted the idea in my head, intentional or not, that's on you. Take responsibility. I'll take responsibility, but I'll let you know that we should focus on the case, and honestly, I liked your approach with Rose, so why don't we try that again? Brute force? Not exactly. Let's try to actually get him as catfish. Okay? I mean, locating people that way would be a massive breach of privacy. I'm not saying it can't be done, but... I returned home for a quick lunch. Seeing as Grace had the same thing in mind, so I thought I'd pick her brain while we chomped down on some food. Did you ask Isabel what she thinks? Not yet. I was hoping you'd talk us out of it before we go to her. It's not like you can force them to meet him, but if they voluntarily go along with it... I think you should talk to Isabel. Judging by what you told me in our brief interactions, she seems risk-averse, yet set on having a good clearing rate. It's possible she'd go along with it. You have my permission. Well, that was easy. Disturbingly so. But make no mistake, mishandle this information in any way and you'll go to prison. I'll personally make sure of it. That's more like it. After some more fear-mongering, Isabel unlocks the door to her side of the desk and allows us to enter. A swift shortcut key pressed later, a terminal with a large amount of filters appears on her monitor. So this is the most powerful tool of InRay. It all depends on how you see it, but it very well could be, yes. We call it the black box of InRay. To access it, you need to be a proper rank and have this retina scanner confirm your identification. If the identification process fails, the system shuts down. It can only be unlocked again remotely from another branch, to be specific. This same branch verifies the retina scan to make sure I'm alive. So you're saying if we, or anyone else, get any ideas, it's pointless either way. That's why I'm saying it's secure, incredibly so. Well, anything less would be irresponsible considering the extremely sensitive nature of the information that can be retrieved through the terminal. So let me get this straight. Before you physically shut down all internet service providers of InRay, you force them to hand over all their data. Isabel exhales deeply as if bothered by my question. That's the reality. So technically we can find dirt on most people, or worse. You're not wrong, but it's nothing you need to concern yourself with. The police branch is working at full capacity, just like before the Reformation. Anyway, enough with the questions. Let's get to what we're here for, alright? Isabel begins to rapidly input characters into the console. Never thought of her as an IT person, but it very well might be her specialty. Though not that I'd know, all I did was play games and order food. So the way this works is, we find the online handle here, then that person's IP address here, cross-reference it with a few other services, and voila, here's your catfish. Name, address, mail address, phone number. The latter two won't help us at all anymore, but the former two. That's scary. That's reality. And also why you should feel safe. That's true, but it's clearly a double-edged sword, as anyone's online footsteps ever can be looked up and examined. Nothing you've ever done online will disappear. So much for privacy. It's the people's will, all for the greater good, and it is not our job to question it. Yet I doubt people really understand the situation. I lower my voice, lean over slightly to Severine's ear, and whisper a string of words that sends her into a mild panic. If I ever get free reign, the first thing I'm doing is looking up traces of that foreign text game hobby of yours. I will have your head. Ouch, that's loud. Excuse me? Sorry, we'll carry out our duty. You sure will? Isabel swiftly prints out a sheet of paper marked by stamps saying InRay government employees only and hands it to Severine. Remember, if you in any way mess us up, say accidentally leak this person's identity to your client, you'll be severely punished. Not even I can save you then. In fact, I wouldn't even want to. Because that'd reek of incompetence, mine and yours alike. I swallow deeply, then we exit the building. What's the plan if they flat out refuse? Because let's be real here, who in their right mind would want to see that guy, especially after their secret identity unveiled by their own government? Yep, I realize how crazy it sounds, and I'm not sure. Guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there? Michael the Pragmatic. But you know, sometimes it doesn't hurt to have a backup plan. It was really just a way of saying that I don't have one, and since you asked me first, I assumed you didn't have one either, thus my answer. Oh-ho, big brain. I don't know if she's mocking me or not, but I can't bother to care at the moment. I feel like we've been in this exact situation before, likely because we have. I look at Severine, emphasizing seriousness with my stare. No faux police shenanigans this time around, alright? I would never. It's your turn. To ring the bell? Oh, gee, thank you so much. She slams it carelessly without missing a beat. After some rustling, the door opens. Hello? She, or was it a he, gives us a quick examining look. One such glance of my own, and I notice this person has a somber aura around them. The listless stare, the mild tone of voice, and their disarmed body language. They all help make it up. Good afternoon, Alex. I'm Severine, and this is Michael. We're with the Department of New Integration. Oh, do you need something? We do. She takes a deep breath to convey the strange nature of our request. I realize this may catch you off guard, and I feel bad about putting you in a situation like this. But we know a bit about you and Joel and the odd relationship you used to share. Their androgynous and subtle features form a grimmage. Joel's was not a name they wanted to hear. Ah. You know about it. You looked into it. You can just do that? We can, but not just. Your identity will remain protected. There's nothing to worry about in regards to that. We've come to ask you for a favor. Come meet Joel. Cerulean, not like this. You said you'd keep my identity protected. Well, it's up to you. Like I said, we're asking a favor of you, nothing else. I don't get it. Why do you want me to meet him? And why are you looking into this? Joel's having trouble moving on. It's our job to help him. Whether you help us or not, that's what our goal is, nothing else. Their stare down continues. I get it. You feel vulnerable and exposed. You never thought this would happen after all. But we're not your enemy. We just want to smooth over any trouble you guys might have had so you can move on. We'll be with you the entire time. Tell me this. What's in it for me? My gratitude. And I'll throw in some free coupons from a restaurant I frequent. Her voice then turns cold. And hey, maybe you'll feel better resolving the situation once and for all instead of letting it poison your soul. Then a deep sigh. Fine, there's nothing in it for me though, trust me. We're grateful for your cooperation. Sometime later that same day. Time is ticking, Michael. I'm aware. Time never stops. What's your point? You need to figure out what we're going to do with Mr. Catfished. You mean we. Gosh darn it, I must have said it wrong. My apologies. You're definitely not sorry. Of course not. So, what's the plan? Do we just put them in a boxing ring and let them have a go at each other? Let the superior one win? You're insane. Never said I wasn't. Nah, we need a controlled environment, somewhere they both feel safe, and where we feel safe for them. Yep, cool, and that is where? What about one of those rooms you always see in American crime shows, with a thick window of plexiglass separating the two people speaking, and a phone connecting them? Yep, cool, and that is where? We should ask Isabel for ideas, then we'll set up the meeting. Sounds like a jail, to be honest. It wasn't quite like in the movies, but it's what we had to work with. The conversation started out beyond awkward, then heated, but with Cerulean acting as a mediator, got emotional and cathartic quite fast. It was as if the toxicity they had been carrying was being drained with each sentence uttered. And where did it go? My guess is that it turned into nothingness. What was left was a kind of distant love, the kind you might have from recognizing that none of your fellow humans aren't anything beyond just that, or so I'd guess. I'll drive her home. You and that tactless goblin of a guy can take the smelly bus. Well, I guess the purging didn't include Cerulean. She still seems less than happy having to deal with Joel. Wait, do you have a license? Her face lights up. She's been waiting for this. Oh, I never told you? Why, yes I do, ever since my 18th birthday. My dad made me go through the whole ordeal as soon as physically possible. What kind of car do you drive? I ask not because I have an interest in cars, but rather because it seems like the natural thing to ask. At least in my shocked state of mind it is. I don't. Never really needed to. I'd get rides whenever I asked for it anyway. I have one just sitting in my parents' garage, not that I know the maker. Isabel said I could borrow one of their cars. Wow, that's brave of her. Shut it, nerd. Alright, off we go. Cerulean goes back into the room, yet soon returns. Behind her, Alex follows timidly. They walk towards the exit and soon disappear out of my sight. My turn. Alright, let's go. The man's aggressive aura is long gone. Now there's just a tranquil young man in front of me. Wait, you're coming with me? Only if you want to. So they already left, huh? They did. Right. Wait, we're not taking the car? She's the one with the license. You're stuck with me and the bus. Aw, man. Unlucky, he mumbles. You don't need to come with me, bro, but if you don't mind chatting for a bit as we walk to the bus stop, I think I'd like that. Also, I'm sorry for all the vitriol and stuff earlier, dude. I'm surprised by the man suddenly changed your attitude. I guess love combined with the sense of betrayal does all kinds of strange things to people. Perhaps this is who he truly is. Sure thing. Then we began walking side by side. You can check me off your list or whatever, I'll be fine, man. Sure. This is gonna sound like such a cliche, but over the course of our relationship, or friendship, whatever we want to call it, hundreds of different scenarios of us meeting played out in my head. And last night I dreamt restlessly. That's another 100 scenarios. What it was actually like was so far removed from my fantasies, I don't even know how to feel about anything anymore. I feel empty, dude. I let his words sink in. I get it, but if you ask me, it was a good thing. You wanted closure, and now you got it. For sure, for sure. Man, I can't believe the person I really like doesn't exactly exist. People can pick and choose what parts of themselves they show to others. Through the internet, it's much easier to do, too. You liked part of them. The other parts, not so much. Yeah, man, I feel like I've just been drugged with an immersion-breaking dose of reality. He laughs, but it's tinted by depression. Don't worry, your dream girl's still out there somewhere. Speaking of dream girls, that white-haired chick, god damn, you guys doing it? If by doing it you mean one-sided abuse since the day we met, then yes. His face turned stern. You shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff to girls. Oh, don't worry, it's the other way around. The man forms a grimace in response and falls silent for a moment. We arrive at the bus stop. Well, that ain't good either. Unless it is. Well, I gotcha. Anyway, thanks for letting me talk about all that shit. My bus should be here any minute. No problem. I guess I won't see any of you again. Man, feels like I'm shutting the door of a chapter of my life or something. Profound feeling, bro. I sure hope so. You could at least say it was nice to hang out or something. Oh yeah, it was. But if things go your way, we won't meet again, so that's why I hope it ends up that way. So if we meet again, it means I'm in trouble. I hope you guys aren't hearing the cat in the background. She's getting up in the microphone, and you might hear her rubbing against it. Something like that. The bus approaches and slows down, preparing to pick up any travelers. Alright, well, it was a pleasure. See ya. Goodbye. The man looks both resigned and relieved as he steps into the bus. He sits down, looks forward. And good luck. People hate being deceived. I don't know if that's really the end of their story, because that was extremely fast. And why wouldn't they? No one likes being exploited in any capacity. Some people react more strongly than others to it. Could it perhaps be linked to their perception of their own worth? Nevertheless, it is a universal fact that no one likes having one pulled on them. Another one is that not all acts of deception are intentional or ill-intended, but they're hurtful to the subject nonetheless. How we deal with these intentional and unintentional forces says a lot about us. Be quick to forgive, but not too quick. Respect yourself and get upset, but only as upset as the situation requires. Be proportional. Bitterness is toxic and kills you from within. Don't hold grudges. They hurt you and only you. On an island where the internet no longer exists, the same internet that allowed for total anonymity, people are undoubtedly more exposed. No more anonymous ruses. In person, you're accountable for your actions, and deception is able to be dealt with through societal functions and pressure. Slander someone, you'll have to provide evidence for your claims. Harass and threaten someone, you'll lose respect among your peers, and maybe even be fined or serve time. The point is, truths are more straightforward in the real world, mostly. It's not without its downsides, but there are systems in place to deal with crime. But above all else, as if these upsides of the real world weren't enough, it offers something invaluable. It offers a substantial part of our communication, body language, and through it, true intent can be conveyed. This allows for a quicker conclusion in everything emotional. In the last case, a man's anger was quickly quelled due to being exposed to the raw truth of uncertainties bothering him. Imagine if all conflicts could be solved that easily. Imagine if all truths could be observed in person, if the internet didn't hide them all. Imagine how much less stress, anxiety, and uncertainty would simply vanish into thin air. Because there's always an ongoing search for a truth to believe in. That's the nature of humankind. In a dimly lit outdoors restaurant, among a sea of overworked middle-aged office workers, Saverian's hair stands out to the point where you get the feeling she's undoubtedly the star of the show. This fact only makes it all the more easy for Rose to find her. Rose walks up to her, yet Cerulean is staring somewhere far away. She's yet to notice her. Beer, meat, and smoke. Occasional whiffs surround the two girls, and everyone else too, but the youngest of the bunch do without a doubt stand out. Cerulean awakens from her daze and quickly yet elegantly puts away a long strand of silver hair behind her ear. She adjusts her posture, clothing, and finally her stare. Oh. Yeah, I've been staying here for a while. You weren't home, so I was waiting for you to return. A brief smile on her lips to take the edge off her harsh remark. Hello. Good evening. With these words, Rose sits down on the opposite side of Cerulean. The atmosphere is tense, but it's all Rose. Cerulean looks as unfazed and impressive as ever, and this is likely the reason why. Cerulean's the first to break the ice. Though it's hardly an intentional gesture, she really just wants to say what's on her mind. I'm glad you came. But it works all the same. I'm glad I came, though I'm, for some reason, getting strangely anxious. Anxious? Why is that? She tilts her head, unable to fathom why. No, just a side effect of being holed up for so long, I guess. The bustling restaurant was perhaps not the ideal first excursion for Rose, but what better way than to shock oneself out of bad habits? It's noisy, bright, and the smells are intense. You might be right, but you know, I've grown to like that part about it. And if I, for some reason, don't want it this way, I just go here during the day. I'll be honest, you look out of place. Somewhere, somehow at this moment, Michael is cheering Rose on, for these were the words Cerulean had once told him. Me? Out of place? What makes you say that? Unthinkable. Well, for starters, the median age of the clientele here is about 55, and we're literally the only two girls here. Cerulean takes a look around the place. Well, I fit in on a spiritual level. Is that not good enough? You do you, girl. But you're way too cute for this place, and so am I, for that matter. She lowers her voice as she goes on. Besides, aren't you tired of all the stairs? What stairs? Rose turns evidently flustered. Don't tell me you haven't noticed. Behind the bar, the old man running the place is, and has been for this entire time, staring at Cerulean with a huge grin. Oh, him? He's harmless. He gives me freebies all the time. It's okay, I'll protect you. Protect me from what? From when his lust meter finally maxes out and he spikes your food, drags you into the back of the restaurant, and makes you fall for him through Stockholm Syndrome. Somehow this all sounds very familiar. Oh no, was I too late? A brief flash of foreign game boxes with 18+ stickers go through her head. Cerulean realizes what the constant reminded her of, turns red and changes the topic. How's not being a shut-in anymore? Rose's built-up tension is released. She sinks into a sloppy position as she leans over the table, using one palm for each side of her face for support. Well, I don't think this lost feeling is going anywhere anytime soon, but I'm alright. Though, to be honest, my internet addiction is eating me up. Sometimes I just can't fucking stand it. Rose's expression turns red with rage. I can't talk to my parents, I can't talk to my friends, I can't order anything online, I have to do every single thing manually. Oh, I know the feeling. I have to make special orders for butter in person. What? Did I hear that correctly? Butter? Yeah, it's my favorite thing in the world to play with. It's smooth, versatile, not to mention delicious. You have some odd interests, Miss Cerulean. Oh, I do. Everyone seems to love it, though. I can make it appeal to everyone. Make what appeal to everyone? Butter. Except lactose-intolerant people, I suppose. Are you, perchance, a baker? Why, yes, I am. We're actually a pastry chef. Why did you say so? I wasn't under the impression that it was something that needed to be said. So let me get this straight. You're a student, a pastry chef, a pet keeper of stray animals, and a shrink for internet access such as myself? Mother always told me I had trouble focusing on one thing. Aren't you a diligent one? Honestly, you look the type of person that has everything going for them effortlessly. True, I've never failed the test. I haven't been sick in 4 years, and for some reason I keep growing in all the right places. Cow. No milk in these. Now that doesn't make me feel any better at all. Rose slams her fist against the slab of wood separating them. A bubbling laughter erupts from the two girls. Meanwhile, I have at least 2 headaches a week, 1 cold a month, and I haven't grown since I was 13. I'm an unemployed shut-in whose job no longer exists. Ex-shut-in. I still stay inside a lot. For that reason alone, I appreciate you inviting me today. This is fun. Rose looks determined to have fun. Her fists hit the table yet again. You're welcome. I can't remember the last time I spoke to someone my own age. The only one I talk to sometimes is my mother, and trust me, I'd rather not. Actually, there's my elder neighbor too, but she straight up doesn't hear every other word I say. It's dumb, but talking to her makes me feel like I can say anything and she wouldn't care. I see. I'm glad. By the way, want to have a beer? Beer. It makes my stomach churn. And makes my stomach churnia, whatever that means. Anti-churnia? Okay, yeah, I just can't make any sense out of that. I'm assuming it's like a cultural thing, but I don't know. This girl only drinks cider, or rather, what do you mean alcohol? I just turned 20, I've got 1 more year to go. Does this look like the type of place I would care? I've been drinking here since I was 15. Of course, when you develop like a cow, why would anyone bat an eye? Good luck to me, however. It'll be fine, so how about it? If you're drinking, I'm drinking. A few minutes later, the two girls tried their best to down their tall pints, one with delight on her face, the other not so much. Movie time. Movie time, right? Rose pulls out her wallet. Don't worry, it's on me. And by that I mean the sleazy old man in the back is paying. What? What's his angle? And wait, you're saying he's sleazy after all? Don't know, don't care. All I know is that he loves to spoil me, and that's good enough for me. Let's go. Alright, to the movies. The two girls, one tall, one short, exit the restaurant area. From behind, they look like mother and daughter, the kind of mother and daughter that goes drinking beer in shady restaurants full of middle-aged men. The following day after school, we gather at Rose's place, and not only that, there's a special guest. Come in, don't just hover around there, it's making me nervous. I'm sorry. Grace, who's been trying to respectfully enter Rose's home, was caught off guard by her impolite politeness. She clumsily peels off her tight boots in a way that completely disillusions any aura of adulthood she might have exuded. Typo. She's just another girl, albeit a few years older than the rest. Of course, I knew this already, but Rose and Cerulean admittedly look a bit awkward as the pieces of the puzzle fall into place. I want to address it, but I can't think of a way to do so without bringing someone's wrath upon me. In a goofy manner, she stumbles over to the sofa and sits down. Cerulean was sitting perfectly still, legs crossed on the opposite end of the sofa, and was always elegant to a fault. Grace's sudden inertia from sitting down throws her off. Eep. She almost falls over. I guess looking elegant comes at a cost. Oh, sorry. It's fine. Just say it's save, we're all waiting for it. Rose grins. In return, Cerulean shoots her a harsh glance. I have nothing to say, but it seems you do. Why, yes I do. Welcome to my home. It's the first time we all come together like this. There's a slight tension in the air. Rose's natural instinct to joke around has already made an appearance, but no one wants to go the full length and accidentally make someone uncomfortable. The silence itself might be more uncomfortable, though. They just need some time. I'm the common denominator here, so I guess it's on me to make sure they all get along. Me, Michael the bookwork. I think that's supposed to be bookworm. Now the mediator. Unthinkable. But before I can get a word in. So, you might have been tricked into coming here expecting a home-cooked meal from this babe, but the joke's on you. I can't cook for shit. Basically, we're ordering pizza. The only one not sighing is me. Sorry to disappoint, darlings, but this is the first step in the ritual of attaining complete attunement with the Rose faction. Cerulean smirks, but unsurprisingly to me, Grace looks confused. I whisper to her. Epic gamer moments, don't pay any mind to it. What? She looks even more confused than before. Anyway, give me your orders and remember, pineapple pizza lovers shall be purged. Wait, but I stop Grace before she utters the forbidden words. I'll pretend I heard nothing. As someone of Italian heritage, I'll have to insist on my entirely unscientific pineapple pizza allergy. No such abominations will enter this home. An hour later, with everyone's stomachs now full of dough, the atmosphere has turned far more relaxed. And of course, no pineapple has been brought into the household today, so the owner of the small apartment is especially in good spirits. You guys just don't get it. Online, I was a goddess. Everyone wanted to be my friend, but I had no time. And now, well, not to be rude, but you guys don't put me on a pedestal like they did, and there are so few of you. Nor should we. Hey, well, you're right. But truthfully, while I don't feel like a different person now, I definitely feel like I'm treated differently. I'm a nobody, just like you guys. Grace chuckles awkwardly. After that, only crickets chirp. Well, this is what it's been like for us all along. I'll have you know I only had 17 followers on Instagram. Even when I tried to include a bit of cleavage, I only got a handful of likes. She mumbles, then sighs, depressed over her desperate acts without reward. I had over 5,000, but most of them were thirsty, pseudo-intellectual, wannabe elite society men. So basically 0. Good on you for having at least 17 genuine followers, Grace. 5,000? Not bad. What do you post, like bikini pictures or what? I'd want 100,000 to even consider that, preferably in cash. Pastries. Not sure what you were expecting. Of course. I'd like to think she would actually have 100,000 followers so she posted bikini pictures, though. Oh, it's like food porn. I love that kind of content. Imagine this. I'd stay up late streaming, having completely been distracted from hunger. Then I open up my Instagram and see all these delicious-looking dishes and desserts. Ah, those were the days. She moans, throws her arms back behind her head, leans back and looks up at the roof as she reminisces. Wonder if I was following you. Honestly, I think it might have been. Too bad there's no way to check. Cerulean lights up in a way she rarely does. I do wonder. Did it make her that happy that there was a possibility that Rose had been following her on Instagram? Wait. Savoring? Were you perchance a fan of Rose's stream? Her cheeks reddens. I don't know, maybe. Now that I think about it, I might have dropped into her stream once or twice. Really? I said maybe, I don't know for sure. It only just occurred to me that I might have, though I remember your hair being a fair bit more pink. The world sure is small, or at least it used to be. Now it's huge, impossibly huge. Anyone else just feels like an ant? Out of many ants? I'm just a friggin' ant now, and it just pisses me off. I know what you mean, but I'm sure the contrast is more clear to the people like yourself than anyone else. I feel mostly the same. It makes sense. Grace had the least amount of ties online. Her real life wasn't vastly different to how it is now. And for Rose to be affected the most just makes the most sense, too. On the list of how much Reformation had affected us, after Rose probably came savoring. And that's when it occurs to me, if it wasn't for the internet's downfall, we wouldn't be here right now. I just had this thought. Everyone's attention is directed towards me. Feels weirdly cinematic. Spotlight's on me now. If it weren't for the internet's downfall, we wouldn't be here right now. I know it sounds obvious, but I think that our paths never would have crossed if it weren't for... Wrong, they would have crossed. Might have. But they never would have interlinked the way they have. Oh, now that's romantic if you think about it. Oh, so you're one of those types, huh? She crosses her arms. And what type would that be? The hopeless romantic type. She is, but I don't say a word because terrible things may happen if I do. And what if I was? Nothing at all. Rose sends a smirk in my direction. You know, I sense bad premonitions. You have a fine young gentleman in your household ready to make a lucky woman his. Ever considered it? And that's the first time tonight, likely one out of many, that Rose crosses a boundary in a situation where she probably shouldn't. Yeah, Michael, ever considered it? She's good. She's so good at making things worse. What an awfully inconvenient skill to have. Curse you, Severine. Leave me alone, you butter fetishist. Oh, how your words pain me, to think that you've learned my darkest secrets. She feigns a fainting motion, but soon returns to her usual taunting grin. I agree, though. It's really cool that a divide like the Internet Reformation has brought people together in a different way. Before my next move, I accidentally exchanged glances with the Greys. The moment we notice each other stare, we look away, each in a different direction. Yep, they had punched us where it hurt, because it was an awkward topic, simply put. Anyway, how was the movie, you two? You've gotten good at that. Changing the topic without flinching. I need to up my game. Please don't. The movie was good, Michael. I can't believe I was invited to the movies by a girl before a guy ever asked me. She glances at me, clearly directing blame my way. As if it was my responsibility to take your movie date virginity. Idiot. So it's not just me, then. That's great. Thank you, Rose. Not that I'm really complaining. This knockout babe did an amazing job. I felt properly taken care of, and she acted like a real gentle lady. You know, she'd make an amazing girlfriend. Plus, she's got a banger body. Honestly, I might just make a move on her myself. She enters a laughing fit. Severine tries to act cool, but I think I can spot a faint blush across her cheeks. Girls, it's been a pleasure, but it's getting late. This old lady needs her beauty sleep. Want to hold on to what little of my youthfulness is still left. Already? Though I suppose it is getting quite late. The latter part I'm confident no one but me heard. I'll tag along. I could technically stay longer, but feel weird to let Grace return all by herself. Might be silly of me, but I fear she'd feel abandoned if I did. Oh? Did I perhaps spark something? A long brewing romance finally blossoming? Me, the Cupid? Good job, Rose. Go to bed, Missy. As if, you know, I might be short, but I'm in fact older than you. Severine spilled the beans. Confuse the two, and it'll come back to bite you. I'll come back to bite you. I sigh and redirect my stare towards Cerulean, who's idly observing the situation that's unfolding. You really ought not to give her ammo like this. She's become insufferable. Don't talk about me like I'm not here. I'm right friggin' here. Rose becomes insufferable, okay? And to that I say screw you. My apologies. Anyway, let's go, Grace. Don't make a lie to me. Okay. I don't blame you. Your apology means nothing. Let's go. I turn around and walk towards our front door. Bye, Severine. See you tomorrow. See ya. Make sure to go to bed in time, Rose. I'm not gonna do her screech. Come sit, I'll play with your hair. And so we left a furious Rose turned meek and a mildly entertained Severine to their own. We're walking down the shoreside, Grace and I. The late evening air is the perfect balance between hot and cold. Not a degree in either direction would be preferable. A slight sea breeze is developing us. Each of my breaths feels light. What a refreshing evening. The mood is equally light, as soon as you could possibly wish for. Weaving into the gusts of ocean scent, Grace's fragrant hair has me enchanted. I look to my side. With the sea as her backdrop, she looks serene in her earnest stride forward. You complete the picture. She turns her head to me, a heartfelt smile. Her hair ripples with each wave clashing on the beach, wholly picturesque. I didn't intend for it to come out so romantic, but I don't think I could have helped it, nor would I have wanted to. Certain things just need to be said, I think. I think that might be the nicest thing someone has ever said to me. My first instinct is to call it sad, but that won't achieve anything but actually make her sad, so... You deserve as much. More than that, in fact. I feel a slight storm of emotion slowly whipping up inside of me. I don't tell you often enough how much I appreciate you. That's really sweet. She looks hesitant to accept my words. I wonder why. You were a bit quiet today. Is anything the matter? No, nothing. I just found it interesting to see you interact with girls your own age. They're both a good fit for you. No, you didn't ask, but I thought I'd let you know. What's this? Already giving up? I say so jokingly. Or am I? I don't know myself anymore. If she smiles back in her usual carefree way, I'll know my words didn't mean all that much to her. But she doesn't. She looks away toward the horizon and the starry sky hovering above it. Don't joke about it. Monotonous. It's complicated. That's the reality of the situation. Her age, my age, our living situation, and her past situation. Pupil and teacher, guardian and cub. I regret the nonchalant way in which I asked her. The last thing I want to do is cause her to hurt. Hypothetically, if I were to date either Severine or Rose, I know Grace would have my back. That's basically what she just said, too. She's just the type of person that's put my happiness first. Before anything else, she'd be happy for me. And for the longest time, we continue to live like we have up till now, because we wouldn't let something like that get in the way of the bond we share. She'd do her best to befriend the chosen one, and try to compromise to get her fair share of my time and attention. It's the type of relationship most people never get to experience. A middle ground between motherly love and romantic feelings, or so I believe, and I count myself lucky. Because when it comes down to it, I find comfort in Grace, the kind that no one else has ever offered me. I think she feels similarly, and it's an odd position to find yourself in. It's the kind of relationship no one really talks about. Because it's indeed the type of relationship people don't normally get to experience, but all it took was a few extraordinary circumstances. Truthfully, if pushed in a romantic direction, I don't think it'd be impossible. I think we'd be good together. Society would condemn us, however, even though there would technically be no wrongdoing. No one would really know, though, and those who do know of our background aren't around to care. From the outside, we already look like a couple. Would it really be that big of a step to actually become one? What am I even thinking? I need to snap out of this. I don't know what I feel for Grace yet. I love her, but I don't know if I love her in the way I need to. And what I feel might not matter at all, because she might feel differently. Curse Rose for planting these thoughts in my head. Sorry. Forgive what I said. It's fine. She often jokes about it, but I know there's some truth to her concern about being romantically alone forever. For some reason or the other, the stars never aligned for her. So far, at least. Do you? She dodges my stare as she musters courage for something. My heart skips a beat in anticipation. Or is it terror of what she's about to ask? Do you ever think there's a possibility we could be a thing? Or, well, I mean... She twists and turns in place and flails her arms, agonizing over her choice of words. Do you ever think of what it'd be like? Like even remotely? Completely hypothetical? Is this her way of fishing for some sign of approval? Or is she perhaps just telling me to keep her in mind? Or does she genuinely want me to share my thoughts on it all? Either way, it's just too much for me. My pulse has reached dangerous levels. I never gotten this kind of attention from anyone, and nowadays I suddenly find myself in these types of situations without even trying. What I mean is, have you ever imagined it, if even for a second? I have. Not having done so seems impossible for me. Of course, the possibility has run through my head. I see. Thanks for answering. We had stopped for a moment because the topic had gotten rather intense, but she nods in a direction implying she wants to continue walking. With our eyes forward, they don't have to meet. I don't even know why I'm asking, really. I'd rather you just forgot about it. I see. My instincts tell me to let it go and enjoy the quietness of the evening, but something just isn't letting me curiosity. Because you regret knowing the answer, and because you find it awkward. Maybe a little bit of both? This isn't the time for this. That's what I can defer from this exchange of words. I haven't sorted out my thoughts, nor has she, so for now we'd better put it in the back burner. The rest of the walk home was quiet. I didn't mind, nor did she. Those two are something else, though, aren't they? That they are. Makes me wonder what the other people you run into on the job. What other people you run into on the job? Potential friends, or perhaps foes? I think Rose was a special case. I don't expect our future clients to be much like her at all. The last guy? Right, confidentiality. Indeed, who knows, though? Could be anyone. You're not wrong. But realistically, things will get harder. It was fun to hang out with you guys. Glad you enjoyed yourself. I think you're a good addition. I don't know, I did feel a bit out of place, like I couldn't truly be myself. Trust me, you're a good addition. I think having someone resembling an adult helps keep the worst of their worst sides in check. I am an adult, and I didn't feel like it, but if you say so... Anyway, what matters is that you had fun. They like you, I'm sure of it. But expect to get more of the invasive teasing treatment. That's what I want to say, but don't. You're right. I'll grow into it, I think. Grace yawns loudly. I'm tired. Think I'll go for a hot shower and then call it a night. Alright, good night then. Good night. Don't let the bedbugs bite. The only thing that ended up biting me was the frustrating thoughts of what was going on behind the wall of my room. Unable to relax, I decided to indulge in these matters. Frame by frame, I can see it all unfold before me, the water running down her voluptuous body, splashing against the bathroom floor. The wet sound of skin meeting skin, the shower cream reaching all over, the fragrance enveloping her. A carnal desire to be in there with her fills me up. I need to sort myself out.